Level 1. The outsider. You're already bleeding. Not badly. A split lip from a fist you didn't see coming. You're 17. You've slept in a pachinko parlor's backroom for 3 nights because there was nowhere else. The owner let you sweep floors for rice and a corner to lie down in. He didn't ask your name. You didn't offer it. In this country, a boy with no family and no school is already half a ghost. You learned that early. You learned it the way you learn most things here. By being shown the back of someone's hand. The man who runs the streets in this part of Osaka is named Ishida. He wears a gray suit that costs more than the parlor makes in a month. He notices you the way a butcher notices a cut of meat. Not unkind. Just measuring. You don't run, he says. You don't answer. 3 men hit you yesterday. You stayed standing. You still don't answer. He nods like silence was the correct response. Maybe it was. He gives you an errand. Carry an envelope 4 blocks. Don't open it. Don't stop. Don't look inside even if it falls open in your hand. You do exactly that. You hand it to a woman behind a noodle counter who doesn't look up. She slides you a bowl of ramen you didn't order. That's the payment. That's the test. You eat every drop. The errands continue for a year. Envelopes. Packages. Messages spoken once and never written down. You learn the streets the way a tongue learns teeth. Which alleys connect? Which shopkeepers pay and which ones are protected by someone bigger? Which police officers look away and which ones are paid to? You learn to walk so that no one remembers your face. You learn that being forgettable is a kind of armor. Some of the other boys talk too much. They brag about who they've met. They say names that shouldn't be said. One of them, a loud kid named Tomo, disappears in the spring. No one explains it. No one asks. You understand without being told. The mouth is the first thing that gets a man killed here. By the end of the year, Ishida calls you to a small room above a bar. Smoke. Low light. A table worn smooth by decades of elbows. You've never asked me for anything, he says. No. You've never told anyone what you carry. No. He pours sake into a small cup and pushes it toward you. Then you're ready to belong to something. You drink it in one motion. It burns going down. You don't show it. Level 2. The younger brother. You're 19. This is where most who enter the life stop climbing. They run errands forever. They collect debts and drink too much and end up in a cell or a ditch. There's no shame in staying small. But it's not what you want. You're brought into a family. Not the kind you were born without. The kind that's chosen, sworn, and bound in blood. The ceremony is older than the country's modern laws. Sake poured by an elder. Cups exchanged. A bond declared that the state refuses to recognize but the street treats as absolute. Your oyabun is a man named Kuroda. 50 years in the life. He moves slowly because he's earned the right to. He drinks cold barley tea even in winter. He says the heat makes men careless. You watch him more than you listen. Because he doesn't explain much. The way he enters a room and reads it in 1 second. The way he lets others speak first and learns everything by saying nothing. The way he keeps one hand visible on the table at all times. Nothing wasted. Your job is collection. Debts owed to the family. Most pay without a problem. A nod. An envelope. A bow. The transaction is almost polite. But one shop owner on a narrow street keeps stalling. A month. Then 2. Your blood runs hot. You want to make an example of him. Kuroda stops you with a single look. Why are we patient? You ask him afterward. He sips his tea. Because a frightened man pays once. A respected man pays forever. That sticks with you. 2 weeks later, you watch a younger collector from another family beat a debtor in the open street. The man pays that night. Then he goes to the police the next morning. The collector is gone within the week. Kuroda doesn't comment on it. He doesn't have to. A tea house. A back room. A woman who runs 3 hostess bars and owes nothing but asks for protection. Her ex-husband has been coming around. Breaking glass. Frightening her girls. You handle it. Not with violence. With a conversation he understands. He doesn't come back. She pays the family a fair share after that. Willingly. You learn something there. Fear collects money once. Loyalty collects it for a generation. You sit with Kuroda afterward and he doesn't praise you. He just refills your cup. You drink it without a word.
If you understand what it means to carry weight without ever raising your voice, subscribe to Through the Ranks.
End of your second year as shatei. Kuroda calls you to him. He doesn't ask if you want more responsibility. He simply gives it. You don't reach for things, he says. You wait until they're handed to you. That's rare. You don't know how to thank him. You don't. He wouldn't want it. Level 3. Kyodai. The sworn brother. You're 23. You're given a small number of men of your own. 3 at first. Then 5. Now it's not just your discipline that matters. It's theirs. And how you shape it. You're given a territory. A handful of streets. A few blocks of bars and shops and backroom games. It doesn't sound like much. But every meter of it has to be held. Held against rival families. Held against ambitious men inside your own. Held against your own temper, which is the most dangerous rival of all. One of your men is named Sato. Young. Eager. Quick to use his fists. He reminds you of who you almost became. He shakes down a noodle shop for more than the agreed share. He thinks no one will notice. You notice. The amount is the amount, you tell him. A man who takes extra today takes everything tomorrow. He nods like he understands. He doesn't. You make him return the money personally. To bow. To apologize. To eat there every week for a month and pay full price. He understands after that. Slowly. A dispute rises with a neighboring family. A gambling den sits on the line between two territories. Both sides claim it. Words could become blood very quickly. The old way would be a war. You ask for a sit-down instead. You arrive with no weapons and one man. You drink with their kyodai for 2 hours. You divide the den's earnings down the middle and shake on it. Both families save face. No one dies over a card table. Your oyabun hears about it. He sends word through Kuroda. 1 sentence. He chose the family's future over his own pride. You don't reply. There's nothing to add. Level 4. The Enforcer's Trial. You're 26. This is where the life asks its hardest question of you. Not whether you can take. Whether you can endure. A deal goes wrong. Not your fault. But the family's debt becomes your debt, because that's how responsibility flows here. Downward, never up. You're told what you already know is coming. Yubitsum. The cutting of the finger. A ritual older than anyone alive. An apology written in your own flesh. You sit on a clean white cloth. A short blade. A length of cord. No one to hold you down because no one needs to. You wrap the cloth around the joint yourself. You place the blade. You think about Kuroda. About the boy who ate cold ramen in a pachinko parlor. You don't hesitate. Half a second of hesitation would be a lifetime of shame. It's done in one motion. You wrap the joint. You bow. You hand the small wrapped thing to your oyabun with both hands. He accepts it. That's the whole point. The debt is paid in a currency the books can't measure. You don't make a sound. The men around you say nothing. But the way they look at you changes. Permanently. Recovery takes weeks. You do everything one-handed and tell no one it hurts. You learn to hold a cup differently. To button a shirt differently. To live, slightly diminished, without ever once complaining. The hand heals wrong, the way it always does. A reminder you'll carry to the grave. Some nights you flex it and feel the absence. You stop noticing eventually. But it never fully stops. When you return to the streets, no one tests you anymore. Not because they fear you. Because they know what you were willing to give. A man who pays his own debt in flesh asks nothing of anyone. That silence is its own kind of rank. Level 5. The Lieutenant. You're 30. Now it's real. You sit at the table where decisions are made. Money. Territory. Men. Consequences. You manage businesses that wear 2 faces. Real estate that's real. Finance companies that lend. construction firms that build things that actually stand. And underneath, the older trades the law was written to stop. You learn to move money the way a sniper learns wind. Slowly, invisibly, without leaving a trace anyone can follow. You learn which politicians take a meeting and which take an envelope. You learn that the line between crime and commerce is thinner than anyone admits. You learn that the most dangerous weapon in the room is usually a contract. A rival family pushes into your district. A bar burns. One of your men is hospitalized. The young ones want blood. You want something more useful. You spend 3 weeks finding out who really ordered it. Not the foot soldier who lit the match. The man who gave the order from a comfortable office. You don't send an army. You send information. To the right rival. To the right official. To the right newspaper. The man who ordered the fire loses everything without you lifting a hand. His own family disowns him to survive. No war. No funerals. Just a problem that quietly ceases to exist. Kuroda is old now. He hears the story from his bed. He laughs, which he rarely does. You've learned the real work, he says. The blade is for boys. The mind is for men. You sit with him until he sleeps. You drive home and you don't turn the radio on. You realize something on the way. The danger was never the fire. It was the temptation to answer it the easy way. That night, you don't sleep. Not from fear. Your mind keeps rerunning the choices. Finding the version where you sent men instead. Counting the funerals that didn't happen. You stop running it, eventually. But it never fully stops.
If you understand that restraint under pressure is everything, subscribe.
Level 6. The Fixer. You're 34. You're sent where problems are too delicate for force. A different territory. A different posture. Your weapon now is your patience. A family scandal threatens to expose 3 organizations at once. A photograph. A debt. A foolish young man who talked. Your job is to make it all disappear without a single body. Your partner in this is a woman named Mori. 20 years in the shadows of the life. She speaks in fragments. You learn to complete them. The journalist is afraid. You find his pressure point. The official is greedy. You find his price. No wasted words. She never asks about your family. You never ask about hers. 2 months in, you realize you don't know if Mori is even her real name. You never find out. Every move carries consequence. A payment too large looks like a bribe. A threat too direct becomes evidence. A favor accepted becomes a leash. You learn to give people a way to say yes that lets them believe it was their idea. You also learn what the fix doesn't show. The young man whose silence you bought, looking at the floor. The journalist who knows the truth and will never print it. The official who sleeps fine and shouldn't. The scandal dissolves. The photograph is never seen. 3 organizations breathe again and never know how close they came. Good work, Mori says. Now you fully understand. A good day isn't the one where you win loudly. It's the one where no one ever knew there was a fight. Level 7. The First Lieutenant. You're 39. You're second only to the head of the family. Dozens of men answer to you. Every decision lands on your desk before it lands anywhere else. Now it's not just your judgment. It's the future of everyone who wears the family's name. The old oyabun is failing. The question of succession hangs over every meeting like smoke. Some men want you. Some want a rival named Hayashi, older, harder, hungrier. A single wrong move could split the family in 2. You don't campaign. You don't make promises. You simply do the work better than anyone else and let the work speak. You settle a dispute that would have cost the family 3 districts. You bring in a legitimate business that pays for itself 10 times over. You keep the young men disciplined when the streets grow tense. You map every alliance the way a leader maps a battlefield. Who owes whom? Who fears whom? Who would follow whom into a war and who would quietly slip away? When the old man finally names his successor, he names you. Not in a speech. In a single sentence at a quiet dinner. Hayashi bows to you that night. Whether he means it, you'll never be sure. You watch his hands when he bows. That's the part that matters. Kuroda, near the end of his life, Here's the news. He sends one word through a messenger. Good. Then nothing more. Level 8. The Negotiator. You're 44. You sit across from men who could end you. Other families. Officials. Men whose business is making problems vanish, like yours. The room is calm. The stakes are not. A war is brewing between two great organizations. Hundreds of men on each side. A single insult could turn the city into a battlefield. You're asked to prevent it. Not with strength. With words. An elder of the other side asks you a question. What does a man at war want most? You consider it. To win. To survive. To be feared. To save face. The old man shakes his head. He wants a reason to stop that doesn't shame him. You carry that into every room afterward. The meeting lasts most of a night. Tea grows cold. Cigarettes burn down to nothing. You don't make threats. You don't make promises you can't keep. You find the smallest concession each side can give without losing honor. A territory traded. An apology offered in private. A debt forgiven so that no one has to admit it existed. You listen more than you speak. You let the silences do the heavy work. By dawn, two men who wanted to destroy each other shake hands. No one fires a shot. No mothers get the call no mother wants. You walk out into the morning light and feel nothing like triumph. Some victories are silent. Those cost the most. You drive home and you don't turn the radio on. Level 9. The oyabun. You're 50. The whole family is yours now. Hundreds of lives. Every decision final. The title didn't feel like a reward. It felt like a transfer of weight. The same burden you watched Kuroda carry, now pressing down on you. The world has changed since you were a boy in a pachinko parlor. New laws. Bank accounts frozen. Members forbidden from renting apartments, opening accounts, even buying phones. The old ways are dying, strangled slowly and legally. A young man in your family does something foolish. A violent act, caught on a phone, uploaded before the blood dries. No context. No history. Just the worst moment of one life, looped, shared, monetized. The pressure comes from everywhere at once. The police. The press. The rival families circling. You make the hardest decision of your life. You expel him. You strip his name from the family to protect the rest. It's the right call. It feels like cutting off a finger that won't grow back. You sit with the older members and tell them the truth. The life we knew is ending. We adapt or we vanish. Some of them can't accept it. A few leave. You let them go. You attend the funeral of an old enemy. A man you fought for 30 years. You sit in the back row. His son sees you afterward. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't have to. You learn something. The hardest part was never the rise. It's holding something together as the ground gives way beneath it. Level 10. The end. You're 58. There's no retirement ceremony in this life. No plaques. No folding chairs. No bad coffee. You step down the only way a man in your position can. Quietly. Carefully. While you still can choose the time. You hand the family to a successor you spent years preparing. A younger man. Steady. The way you once were. You pour the sake yourself this time. You watch him drink it in one motion. He doesn't show the burn. Good. The real work was never in the territory or the money. It was in the rooms no one saw. The cups poured. The wars that never happened. The debts paid in flesh and silence. It was in everything that left no record. You think about Tomo. The loud boy who vanished in the spring. The first to teach you what a closed mouth was worth. You think about Sato. The hot-headed young collector you tried to shape. Killed in a dispute 2 years after he left your protection. You weren't there. You'll never know if you could have changed it. You think about the young man you expelled. He came to you once, after, asking if he'd done the right thing all those years. He was barely more than a boy. He wanted you to tell him it was clean. You told him it was necessary. You didn't tell him it would never feel clean. That was a mercy you couldn't give. You think about Kuroda. A respected man pays forever. You think about Mori, whose real name you never learned. You wonder if she's still out there in the shadows. 40 years learning. When to take. When to wait. When to speak. When silence does more than any blade. No one told you it would end this quietly. But now you understand. Quiet was always the point.
If you respect the men who choose that silence, if you understand what it costs to hold something together as the world tries to tear it down, subscribe to Through the Ranks.